Well, Donald Trump hand-delivered to Vladimir Putin a private letter from his wife Melania Trump about the plight of children in Ukraine and Russia during their peace summit in Alaska. She writes, and I quote, "We must strive to paint a dignity-filled world for all so that every soul may wake to peace and so that the future itself is perfectly guarded. In protecting the innocence of these children, you will do more than serve Russia alone. You serve humanity itself." Joining us now is the host of Brad versus Everyone podcast, Brad Palumbo. Brad, great to have you with us. And Melania certainly has been front and centre of this push for peace and the end of the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, she has been. And it was a really beautiful letter. I read it before we came on air. I really would hope that Putin would listen, but I have to be honest, I'm not optimistic that there's much of a moral compass left in that man to be persuaded by anything. It can't hurt to try, and I've always thought Melania Trump gets a bad rap and is actually a remarkably graceful first lady, but mainstream media here doesn't treat her that way. It is somewhat disappointing, though, because a lot of us were looking at this summit with Putin and hoping that we would come away with some kind of ceasefire deal or some sort of next steps, but it doesn't look like that breakthrough has happened yet. But we're all, I think, rooting for that to happen sooner rather than later so that Russia's awful, evil invasion of Ukraine can come to an end.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Brad, I thought this was quite fascinating. So Donald Trump got back to Washington, D.C. at 5 a.m. after a 22-hour day in pursuit of peace in Alaska, and then he was out on the golf course by noon. I mean, how does the man do it?
Well, he doesn't sleep, so that helps. According to him, he only sleeps 2 to 3 hours a night. So I guess you have a lot of time to do stuff when you do that. Maybe it's also the Diet Coke pumping through his veins. He's got the Diet Coke button on his desk in the Oval Office. I don't know. I listen, I certainly don't think I would be doing that when I come back from across the pond. I need a couple days to get back on track, but say what you want about him. He's not low energy. He's called some of his enemies low energy over the years. I don't think anyone can say that about Donald Trump.
No, that's amazing. Incredible energy and a pretty good golfer as well. Hey, just lastly, Brad, what's Arnie the Terminator up to in California?
So he's upset now about gerrymandering in California and in Texas. There's basically this big back and forth that's going on where in Texas, Republicans are planning on doing mid-decade gerrymandering, which is redrawing the legislative districts to give yourself more seats in Congress by kind of choosing your voters. This is something Democrats have historically been against and wanted to ban, but now they're saying they will do it too in response. So Arnold is out here criticizing Trump and Gavin Newsom for doing it. I'm not sure he'll be able to actually do anything about it. It's kind of baked into our political system, but things are fine. Things are going amazing here. We're just kind of in a perpetual race to the bottom of who can take the shadiest step next to kind of rig the political system in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, do we expect anything else from the pin-up boy for stupidity, Newsom? No, absolutely not. Brad, before we let you go, I've got to say the protests in Washington, D.C. against Trump's crime crackdown, they just look so sad and tragic. Here was one on the weekend. Look, they've got the whistles out. I just feel like they're having a meltdown over this. Why are they so angry about a crackdown on law and order?
Yeah, it's interesting these same crowds didn't come out when people I personally know who work in D.C. were brutally attacked and stabbed in random attacks by people who had just been released by local officials after being arrested the day before. Funny how that didn't draw the same crowd. Look, obviously, I'm not sure that whether what Trump is doing will work, but something had to be done. Crime is out of control in Washington, D.C. Everyone knows it. And it's interesting when you watch local news interviews with Black local residents, not activists, not woke people. A lot of them are actually glad to have more police around because they're the ones affected by crime in Washington, D.C. the most.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the left that seem to be in this bizarre state of delusion about it. Brad Palumbo, great to see you as always. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening. Really appreciate it.